Hello.
Heyo.
Oh, I started my recording. Did Sierra start her recording?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, we're here with guitarist Joe and vocalist Sierra from With Sales Ahead. Should be fun.
Hell yeah.
Fresh music video out. I've been watching it like crazy.
Thanks.
Yes.
Repeatedly, I love it. That's one of the main things I think we wanted to start with, right?
Yeah, the new single In Fear and Loathing, it's just rad. I loved it. I listened to it like a lot today.
Thank you.
And I remember Joe, like before, maybe like last week, you showed me a snippet of some music you guys have made, but in the past. But today, when I was like digging into your, guys' discography, I was like, wow, these guys bang. Really good.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I had a quick question. Jack probably had something more important he wanted to ask. Is the title of the song In Fear and Loathing reference to In Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Not at all. I have seen the movie, but nah, it's just like I'm not gonna lie. I obviously was thinking about the title, so I was like, okay, it'd be fun to like flip this and like make it just like a lyric, but like lyric matter wise, it's definitely not related to the movie. But I have
Okay.
seen it. It's very interesting.
It's a great movie.
film.
It's just a nice tongue-in-cheek title for a song. I dig it.
Thanks.
Yeah, when I saw it at first, I was like, oh, is this gonna have something to do with In Fear and Loathing?
It's just about a big acid
just
trip.
did not at all. Yeah, I was like, I didn't get that vibe from the song. So I want to ask about the writing. I know I read the little article that you guys did recently. I forget what it was on exactly. But Joe, you do a lot of the writing for the band.
Yeah, a decent amount. That song actually we started.
Like
writing-
how did that song get written?
Yeah.
'Cause that's old, right? Kind of
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching videos of you guys and saw you performing it like 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wait. No. Not 2 years ago. We started playing it out like
Sure.
last year, right? But like
Okay.
a long time ago. Like we've been playing it out for like a hot minute. So
Yeah, I started writing that a while ago. Mainly just like there's an Instagram clip from like June of 2017 when like the idea started, and from like that original clip up until we started playing it, so between like 2017 2018, we kind of I had like most of it written, and then once we started playing it as a group, we started like expanding it a little more because the song was originally like half the length, and we ended up like adding some more stuff and like making the song repeat to make it a little longer.
yeah.
Mm.
The bridge wasn't always as long as it is now, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
It's so long ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I noticed that when listening to your discography from the beginning to now, you guys have a very nuanced progression of getting better. That's I've noticed is like a bit more different than other bands who you can see either just go from like to being pretty good. You guys have always been pretty stellar in my opinion, but
Aw.
there's like more nuance to it. Like the more recent stuff sounds more confident. Not that the older stuff didn't, but just in a more like, I don't know, real way. But also In Fear and Loathing is super like streamlined, and I feel like it's open to a larger audience than just a prog rock fan. Like I feel like anybody can jam out
Oh,
to that.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that's what you got from checking out our like past stuff and like now listening to the new single. 'Cause like we definitely were kind of just like on the one EP Years in Waiting, like we were just kind of figuring shit out. Like because we were just starting to play together as like a unit for the first time, and like, I mean, I had my ideas for what I wanted the band to sound like Joe had his, like everybody had their own, so it was like trying to make sense of all of that and make it a cohesive thing. So, and like, it took us a while. So like we look back at the stuff we released in the past and we're like, man, like that doesn't sound like what we want to do now at all. It's crazy how like our goals have changed, like songwriting wise. But I'm glad that like confident is the word a lot of people have been saying, and I'm glad because I think we're starting to finally figure out like what we do best, like, you know, what we like about our music and how we can expand upon that in a, like, I guess, I don't know, we just like know what we're doing for the most part. We always did, but like we know now more confidently like this direction we want to go in.
Even from the beginning, you guys didn't sound like just friends getting together to make a band. I mean, that's what you were, but individually, you all sound like experienced musicians who've cut their teeth on projects or anything prior, which I thought was really cool.
There was like a defining moment where we were like ready to put out the previous EP, and I was expecting the lead single Willow to be like the most popular song from that EP, and when it turned out that the exact opposite were like another song which I was actually originally wanted to leave off the EP ended up becoming the most popular.
Really?
And I was like, okay.
I still remember that night at Red Bank rehearsal. We were practicing the EP, and like the all 6 tracks were like done. I think this was like when we were like rehearsing before like we were getting ready to like just like schedule the record for release, and like we were just practicing it, and you're like, guys, I really don't think Pixelated should be on the EP at all. I hate it. And all the 4 of us were like, no, we outvoted you. And then look what happened. I know it's crazy. I too thought Willow was going to be like a solid, not that it wasn't a solid single, but yeah, I thought it was going to connect a little more. But lo and behold, Pixelated rose through the ashes.
I love that music video for
Thanks.
Pixelated.
Oh, I'm so
Watched it
glad.
earlier.
Thank you.
We actually now would be a good time to talk about the indie scene, kind of, because that's kind of about the indie scene a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like the music video itself.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So for people who don't know, basically, it's like you guys are the openers, or no, you guys are the main act, and then the openers play and like don't give a shit when it's like your turn to be up.
Yeah.
Like, you experience that a lot?
Yeah.
Without putting people on blast.
I'm gonna, you know what? It's a good thing I have a
Or you
horrible
could, I
memory because like we've played so many gigs where like really like shitty stuff has happened, and I couldn't tell you like the names of the bands that wronged us. Like I can barely give you instances. I can only think of times maybe on tour where like things got like weird, or we had like we played with bands that were like super rude, or like, you know, the like. But yeah, there's definitely been like plenty of times where like, you know, we just felt like we were showing up to a gig and playing and leaving. There was no camaraderie. Like you know, people just wanted to show up, like melt people's faces off and then just like be praised and then leave and not talk to anybody, which is not what we're about. So that's, yeah, we've definitely, you know, but you know what has happened to us, like in that music video, like most of those things like have happened to us. I can't name specific instances, but like we've had people say to us like, great set, when I watched them stand outside the venue the entire time we were playing. Like I could see them outside the window in the parking lot talking to their friends.
And then they say,
Dude.
nice set, can I borrow your
yeah.
amp?
Yeah, that's
Oh no, that's messed up.
yeah.
Yeah, I
it
saw,
happens.
and then they leave all the empty beer cans on it, right?
That's another
Yeah.
thing that's happened. It happened to Santino. There's probably been like another instance where it happened like here in New Jersey, but on tour 2 years ago, this band last minute. We were supposed to gear share with them. Like, we were going to borrow their back line because we were the ones from out of town. But they ended up using, like, a mix of our gear and, like, our friends in the touring band's gear. And they put their drinks, like, on Santino's amp and stuff. Yeah.
Messed up.
So messed up.
The only person who's allowed to put a beer on my amp is me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So I know a lot of like local acts haven't really gone on tour. Do you guys want to talk about that tour a little bit?
Sure.
How you got that opportunity and everything?
Yeah. So
We'll
lot
circle back to the song eventually.
no, for sure. No,
Music
this is
video.
good.
It's
I
kind
like.
of snowballing.
This is how my brain works too. I like to bounce around.
Yeah.
God, everyone always says like, just don't like lose money and hit the road and tour if you don't have any demand. I'm like, no, because like nothing is promised. Like no one's gonna like hand things to you. Just go do it. So all of our tours we've booked ourselves, and it's tough. But the first time you go out is just haggling because you don't know what to expect, and like you don't realize how like strenuous it is on your body, and like you're constantly just like running around or sitting in a van uncomfortably. So it can be a lot, but God, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And we were supposed to go out this year, and I was like, that was one of the things I was gutted about the most, like missing out on tour. But it's an amazing experience. And you just like, it really opens your eyes up to like how connected like DIY scenes really are and how like alike they are to ours. It's really cool, and you meet the best people.
That's awesome. And I know that one of the biggest dreams, like other than being signed by a record label, going on tour is a dream come true for any local artist, indie band or whatever. A lot of them, at least in my experience, guys I know, have never achieved that. Would you have any like advice, or I don't know how you would go about procreating a tour
For sure.
for indie bands or musicians?
So I will say, unless you hook up with a band, I recommend definitely like linking up with a second band. Just coming up with a touring package, the two of you, so that not just to like help your odds of like maybe if they have pull in like the southeast, like they can help you down there, or like if you have pull in the northeast, like you can help them out and trade off a bit. But it's also kind of like you can kind of split up the work, and you can help each other out with like booking dates. So it's just good to get some help, and good to have someone to like sound off on when like you're going crazy, like, oh my God, like I can't book Buffalo, like this guy will not get back to me, it's driving me crazy. Like, so definitely link up with another band. And if it's your first time going out, it's gonna be so hit or miss. So just like enjoy like that victory when you book all the dates and they're done. Enjoy when like you're like out on the road and you're just like enjoying being away from home and you're playing for people. It's rough. Like even on our last tour, which we consider like our most successful one, like there was a night we only played to 6 people and like
Really?
in the room. And it's like, that's just the way it is. And that's how it's going to be in the beginning when you start out. Just try to like enjoy it and like don't worry about it. Like it's better to go out on tour and like say you did it than like not have gone at all and been like, oh, but what if our band like hit the road when we were a thing? Like what if we just tried it, like, and never knowing. So that, and then save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Save more money, however much money you think that you need to save for tour, take that and double it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like people always say, like when you're starting out, like you're gonna just like you're gonna net negative for a long time, maybe even years. We, depending on like where you tour and like venues you play and like if you make any money, like you may come home with actual money. Like we did once, you may come home with like less money, which we've done. So yeah, just be prepared, I would say. But fucking go for it. Do it. Life is
Hell
not
yeah.
It's like
life is
a
too
cool
short.
road
Yeah.
trip kind of.
Sick.
So to circle back, I guess, on the music video, I definitely had some questions on it. Jack, I don't know if you want to start.
You could start. I definitely have a lot of questions. Though.
Okay, so
We think alike though, so like you might hit some of mine.
all right. the first thing I wanted to know was, I know you worked with Chris Kunacek.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it came to the artistic vision, or like the visuals, or this general concept of the video, was that like solely the band's idea, or was it Chris's, or was it collaborative?
It's cool. I'd say it's collaborative. Like, we come to Chris with an idea, and we try to flesh out as much as possible, just so that like it's not like he doesn't get confused trying to fill in the blanks. So like we come with him to like the story, with like the storyline, and like maybe certain beats we really want in there, like certain shots we really want to get. But we try to leave some stuff up to him so that it's fun for him too. And then like as far as like cinematography goes, I just like hand it all over to him. Like, he can do whatever because I trust him with my life.
Yeah,
So-
Chris does a great job of bringing our vision to life. We usually come to him with like a nice like outline, and he really helps put it together.
Yeah.
That sounds rad. The one thing I really wanted to ask was exactly what the theme or the message of just the video itself is to you guys, and how it correlated to the song, because I know there's this whole overtone of like fear in general, but the video starts off pretty ominous, and then it goes for the whole video is just everyone doing some benign kind of activity or hobbies, and then at the very end it ends really creepy.
Yeah.
too.
The
So
cliffhanger.
I have a little bit of a question with that. So in the very beginning, is that you guys in the things? Because I know there's a line in the song called
in the robes.
like wolves in sheep's clothing, or
Alright.
or no, sheep's in wolves' clothing.
Other
So
way around.
is that like a thing in the video? Is that supposed to be you guys, and that's like foreshadowing?
So, okay. So this music video is actually the first part to there's like a second part that's we haven't finished filming because of COVID. But so the idea is that so in Fear and Loathing, the hooded people are kind of like symbolic, and they do end up playing like a bigger role. I'll try not to spoil as much as I can. But
Please withhold spoilers.
yeah.
but-
So really, like, so I know like the video's super vague, so I'm totally cool with, like, people leaving it up to interpretation. But in the beginning of that music video, it's like I'm dreaming, and like the concept is that like they're after me. So you could say that's like my anxieties, like ominously always on my trail, unable to run from them. So, and then even the performance footage in that video, Chris wanted to make it dreamlike too, like as part of the dream sequence. So that's kind of what we were going for there. And so then I wake up, and I did a bad job of portraying this, 'cause I'm a bad actor. But basically, like, it goes through the video goes through showing us like in our day to day, like when we're alone, like just like with ourselves, you know, doing whatever we do to pass the time. Because like I feel like when I'm like home and shit, and I'm like alone with my own thoughts, I'm like, God, this sucks. And like I'm forced to have to hear my own thoughts and like stew in my own like anxiety. And you know, so you know, you get through the day however you can. That's everyone doing their hobbies. And then we all come together and we have band practice, and like band practice for us is like the highlight of our week. 'Cause like, oh, Joe, can I tell them about the ending, what we were talking about when Chris was like filming us like palling around before practice, quote unquote? We were so we when we were shooting that scene,
Oh
So-
my god.
So when we were shooting that scene, like when we all come together and we're just like like just like having small talk before we go inside to the practice space, we're actually just like making up like conversation about gabagool. We're just like talking about gabagool.
We were actually losing it.
We're talking about. Yeah, we were trying so hard not to laugh because a few days before, I don't know if you guys watch Donkey on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he dropped that review of the Sopranos video game, and we kept singing that song he sings to the Sopranos theme about gabagool to each other. So like we're literally just reciting the lyrics.
Regardless of what any beats in between, when someone brings up gabagool and says it like that, I know it's gonna lead back to the Sopranos somehow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we were talking about. So then yeah, like the video like wraps up there, and then we go inside and then you see the cliffhanger cuz yeah, then the next video will have the part 2 to that. You find out what happens next.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm very excited.
Thank
very,
you.
very excited. So when you guys came up with the song, did you have an idea for the video originally, or did it come later on?
It came later on. So, cuz whenever we go to make music videos, we're like, "Oh, fuck, we have to figure out like what we want to do." Cuz
Yeah.
like for Willow, I don't know if you guys saw, but like we wanted to do like a whole thing. We wanted a story too, but like the videographer we worked with was not very like into it at all. Like I guess he just wanted to make a buck. So like we set up in like a room and he filmed us playing. Then we were gonna do like B-roll and then he disappeared on us. We were like, all right. So like we're used to just like kind of like showing up and just playing and leaving. So
And that's why
we
go
try
Chris
to like.
now.
Yeah, that's why we go to Chris now. That's what I love about him. Always so fucking stoked for everything. But yeah, that video, we had a meeting. Oh my god, we had it right before COVID happened. I think we had it in like February. I forget. But no, I think I don't know. I forget when. But like we just sat him down and we were like, "Okay, I think this is what we want to do." And like I was like, listen, this is like the vague idea of what I want to do, and I don't know how we're gonna do this, but like here it is. And he was like, okay, cool, we'll make it work. And that was that.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
You want to say something?
You could throw it in.
Okay. Who writes a majority of the lyrical content?
That's what I was gonna say.
Ah.
That's why we're partners.
It's on me. Joe.
Oh, really?
Sometimes
Really?
Joe, he'll slap names on demos that I keep. They wanted to keep Gabagool. Yeah, and Fear and Loathing was also originally named Gabagool, and they wanted to keep
Oh my
it.
god.
I was
Which-
like, all right, guys, I don't maybe not this
Yeah,
one.
that stems from the nickname
But-
that our drummer gave me, which was Joey Gabagool. So it kind of just like, it just goes down the line from my nickname to the song to the
Yeah.
meme to the video.
We're just gonna have to have a whole album named after cold cuts.
Baloney.
But yeah.
That sounds great.
Sounds like a bunch of baloney.
But yeah, I write all the lyrics for everything.
Do you have a specific like lyrical inspiration, or are lyrics just something that you write specifically, like with no general influence? Does it just come to you and you just work it into the music, or?
So, I for the most part just kind of like write down what comes to my brain, but like that's a result of like years and years of listening to like Circus Survive, Lower Definition, like Dance Gavin Dance, all of those bands, and like the way they write lyrics and like the prose that those vocalists use. And so I definitely would be lying if I said I didn't adopt any of that, but I definitely think about like the way they've structured their lyrics and like and definitely like I grew up like listening to like pop and like singer-songwriter stuff. So when I started listening to alternative music, I saw how like not every like line has to rhyme with one another. Like you can change it up if you want, or like you don't need to do like A B C like like verse chorus type shit if you don't want. Like you can change it up, and like you don't have to have like we have songs where like either I forget if it's. I think we have stuff coming up. One of those songs coming up. Like we don't. There's one that like doesn't even have like a chorus per se, or like the chorus doesn't like identically like repeat lyric wise. So
yeah, and like
so yeah.
I want to add that like part of the thing about being like for me as a songwriter is like on the part of the maturing process from like the last EP to like the new stuff is like before I didn't really pay attention to what space that I was leaving for the vocals to sit on top of, and so I would write just like stupidly technical riffs and say good luck Sierra, and it would it would be fine, but I'm making
I
a
always make it work,
conscious effort now to leave space for vocals to shine, so it doesn't always have to be like a constant barrage of technical guitar work. I want to leave more room for lyrics and meaning and vocals to sit on top of the music.
Totally.
Yeah, see, and that's like that technical stuff I was talking about earlier, that like nuance of your growth. Like those details are the way you like examine your own music. I feel like not a lot of other bands would do. I guess that's really cool.
Thank you.
And Joe, also, I was trying to jot down like bands or artists that I thought you guys kind of sounded like, and for the guitar and just general instrumentation in general, I pulled up intervals, Chan, and a lot of your mathy parts kind of remind me of Fall Out Troy a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of those bands
Nice.
are specific influences on you.
Definitely Chan. Chan, like since like
That jacket.
yeah, Jack knows the jacket that I have. It's Fly, my Chan jacket. What was the first band you said?
Intervals.
Intervals. I've seen them live, but I'm not a huge fan of them. But I could definitely see that. And also Fall Out Troy. Like Fall Out Troy is an influence for Chan, and it kind of just goes down the line. But like, they're like one of those early kind of mathy post-hardcore bands that went on to influence the generation of bands that I'm influenced by. So it's more so like bands like Dance Gavin Dance and a lot like Birds, and so that's more like second generation post-hardcore.
You were influenced by proxy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And Sierra, you sound in my ears, you sound like you have a similar singing style or like vocal patterns as the vocalist from Destiny Potato.
Oh my God. Thank you. I love Destiny Potato. Like my friends in college showed me them, and they're like, "You gotta hear this band, Destiny Potato." I was like, "What kind of fucking name is that?" And then you listen, and they're unbelievable. They have that new project now, right? Because they're not Destiny Potato anymore.
I don't believe so. No,
Yeah.
How do you get rid of that name?
it's wild. But yeah, you sound a lot like her in my ears.
Holy
That's really
shit!
good.
Thank you. I love
Yeah.
her. I don't know her name, but she's awesome.
How do I?
And they got that guy with the huge top hat.
Yeah.
He's sick. But thank you.
You're welcome. Jack, you have anything?
Yeah, just more in the vein of writing. Sarah, do you want to talk through a little bit of the In Fear and Loathing, like where you were at mentally when you were writing it?
Sure thing. So when I wrote that, I was about to turn like 26 that year. And I don't want to get too heavy, but like it's
That's
like
what we do here.
okay. So like I didn't ask to be born. Like a lot of this shit I go through in life and like the motions I go through are because I'm told it's what I have to do. It's what I have to like do to get by and survive. Like go to college so you can get a degree, so you can get like a full-time job, and then you can pay your bills and pay off your college debt and all that good stuff. And y'all know it's expensive to live in the state, so that didn't help me much. And then obviously it doesn't help much to get a college degree. So like I've been in a spot where like I'm just living paycheck to paycheck, And like that year, I had a full-time job, but it was in North Jersey and I was commuting and it sucked. And then I was about to be kicked off my parents' insurance later that year for my birthday. So
Happy birthday.
yeah, fucking the worst. So like, oh yeah, thank you. But yeah. So like, I was just like dreading it, and it's like, I was stuck at this job in North Jersey, and I was like, holy shit, like I barely make enough money here. But if I leave here, I have to go off and get a job closer to home that's not going to be in music. I was working in music, so it's just like I was just perpetually like like having cyclical like negative thoughts. And I'd be lying if I said I still don't, but back then it was more just like the fear of the future, like where I was going to end up, like am I going to be on the street cuz I'm that broke trying to pay off my college debt for music school, and like just like pretty much that. And just like worrying about the future of the band, like because obviously like you have to running a band is like a business, so you have to worry about financing it. It's just y'all, or just us. So yeah, so it's just like all these things are like constantly like living in my brain. So that's kind of what the lyrics are about. And just my ability to squash every positive thought in my head, not let myself be confident in myself, and all that good stuff. So that's like like where I was mentally when I wrote those lyrics and what inspired them.
That's awesome.
That's incredible, yeah. And I feel like that's something that a lot of indie artists like go through, because yeah, you're right. Being a part of a band or or being just in a band, whatever, you're right. It's like running a business, to a degree, but there's just a lot of stuff to think about, worry about, not just the music, but your demographic. Are you making music that you like, and then promotion, gigging, advertising, whatever it is,
Yeah.
is a lot of stuff that a lot of young bands or musicians seem to struggle with, that I've noticed. Would you have anything? Was there anything particular that helped you kind of come across that hurdle, or at least it currently helps you push to get better at dealing with all those things at once?
So one thing I would say is like go to therapy if you can, but like I realize it's not a feasible option for everyone. Because I did start going to therapy. I like a year ago, I had to like cut down on like sessions though, because I'm like, I can't afford to come here every week. It's $130 and my insurance doesn't cover it. So there's that. But I also I try to put things in perspective a lot. I try to think about like how when like I have like a really like insurmountable, like seemingly insurmountable like obstacle coming up, and I'm like, God, this is gonna suck. I try to think about like how I've tackled things in the past and how I'm capable. And I try to just let that steer me. I also, what's it called? I journal a lot. I journal here and there just to like get my frustrations out and like leave it on the page and forget about it. And I also, so like a lot of like our stress with like managing the band is like, how do we get to the next level? Like, how do we like continue growing? And it's so hard when like things are so oversaturated right now. So a fear you have, of course, is like, okay, what if we fail? So I met so I have a friend, Charlene, I met like a year ago when we played on tour, and she posted something really inspiring like a month after we met that like has also really driven me, which is like, she was like, don't ask me like how like chasing my dreams is going. I'm living my dream. I'm playing music for people. I'm writing, I'm releasing material I love. I'm living the dream, and I will not wait for something that may never happen. Like, I'm living in the present, and like what is happening right now is like what I've always wanted to do. So I am living my dreams, and And that's that. So I read that. I was like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't be so ungrateful. Like, damn, like we have been able to do some cool stuff. So yeah, try to be present. Try to think about like, you know, the cool little things you do day to day and congratulate yourself. Like celebrate them. Like, I think that's really important.
And play Animal Crossing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's badass though. That's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like a big focus of mine recently has been like just trying to like be in the moment a lot and just like
Yeah.
appreciate now for what it is and like just be happy with what's happening right now because it's only going to be happening right now ever.
I know. And then if you're always looking forward to the next thing, it's like, well, you just missed it.
Yeah,
Totally.
you missed everything that was happening.
And it doesn't
Like, you
help
can't
that we have
worry.
like an internet, like in like, I don't know what the word to say would be like, but like we have like a society. We live in a society, but like yeah, everyone's
do.
always like trying to like top each other, like be the next big thing, like, you know, like, I don't know, be greater than the last, like, and that kind of stuff can like lead us to have tremendous self-doubt. So, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely something we're trying to avoid with the podcast, you know?
Yeah. Enjoy the journey.
It's
That's what it's
yeah,
about.
literally I'm just enjoying the journey. Like the first couple episodes I literally said like I don't really care if anyone's listening right now. I'm just enjoying having this conversation.
Good. That's important.
Yeah. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about your musical history?
Yeah.
Like
sure.
when you first started, what inspired you a lot? I mean, you talked inspiration a little bit already, but you want to go a little bit into when you started, who got you started?
And on top of that, how and when did With Sales Ahead form?
Yeah.
Sure. So inevitably I always go first because it did start with me, but then like I'll move on to Joe. So this project I started by myself, and like I just had a band fall apart, and I was like, okay, well I guess I'm like shelving music for a while. I didn't play music or sing or do anything for like a year or two, and then I was like, fuck this. I really got into the band Lower Definition, and I was like, man, it would be so cool to do something like this, but like without screaming, because like I couldn't scream at the time. And I also really loved Counterparts, tried to integrate that too, but like that didn't end up working out. But I generally just wanted to do something in the vein of like heavier stuff, but also include like the parts of like post-hardcore that were like pretty and like melodic, like things about those two bands, Counterparts and Lower Definition, that really stood out to me. They were what made me love those bands so much, that they could, you know, juxtapose, you know, like really hard-hitting like rhythm, like heavy stuff with really interesting melodic ideas. So I wanted to spearhead that, but it was just me. So and like at the time, like I was completely separated from the local scene. I didn't know that many people at all, and definitely not nearly enough to find musicians. Like I couldn't just post to Facebook and be like, starting a new band, and then like 4 dudes be like, yeah, I'm in. Like it took years. So I wrote all the music for our like quote unquote first EP, which was like our demo. And then I would go to shows. I'd piggyback off my ex-boyfriend's band from their merch table, and I would just like slide free demo CDs out to unsuspecting people who walk by the table. Like, hey, I'm looking for
Respect.
musicians. Sometimes it went over cool, and other times like you'd be leaving the show, you'd see them like on the ground. I'm like, okay, I didn't spend like, yeah, it's okay, but it's like, all right, fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
I'm fine.
So it was a lot of years of that, honestly. I put out that EP. I just pressed like a stack of like 100 CDs, and anytime I could go to a show, I would, and hand them out. I'd post to Facebook. I'd put up flyers. Actually, in like Guitar Center Ocean, I did put up a flyer there years ago. I know it didn't get me anywhere fast, but so it wasn't until Joe picked up my CD at like one of these said shows that I left a stack of CDs at, and then he messaged me on Facebook. So that's when like we started messaging each other, sending me ideas, and we
How
also
long
met.
ago was this exactly? Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I
you're
was
good.
just for context.
Oh, for context, what?
Like, how long ago was this?
Whoo, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, 2015. So, at this point, like when Joe was messaging me, like I had like fill-ins. So I did start to play shows in January of 2015. Or no, it was like April or May that we played our first show, I think. But January 2015, like someone finally came to me, like one of my friends that I ended up making that was a drummer. I don't know if you guys know him, Joe Capasso. He's in Knights of Malice. But
He's in Knights of Malice.
yeah, but he came
I've
to
heard
me.
of
He
them.
was like,
I
"Listen,
haven't.
your music is sick. I want to help you." So he was like official drummer for a bit, but then he was like, I didn't think that was gonna last because he was in 3 bands at the time, including mine, and I did not think that was gonna work.
Damn.
It's drummers for you, and always trying to play in as many bands as possible because they're just so stoked. But he was in the band for like a second. But and I had other fill-ins. They eventually didn't work out, and then Joe came along and was permanent. We met at like we were messaging each other, but like I knew what he looked like, and I guess he knew who I was, and we coincidentally ran into each other at a Dance Cabin Dance show. Like
Oh,
it was
nice.
fated. Like we were like leaving, like the show was over, we were leaving, and I turned around and I saw him, and he saw me, and we were both like, "Hey, you're you." And then we like
So awkwardly
he was
walked
like, "Yeah,
away.
I'm the guy who's sending you the stuff." Yeah.
Really? You just walked away after that?
We
Hey.
were just like, "Okay,
Hey.
bye. Talk to you later." So yeah.
That's kind of great. I love that origin story. I met for the first time at a DGD concert and then just kind of walked away.
Yeah, and then Joe, if you want to pick up from there.
Oh, I
Since
don't know.
that's-
What?
Yeah, the early history is just like
We started practicing.
Like what happened
Oh,
after?
I started coming to practice. Basically, the
And
original
there's 2 people we
guitarist
haven't.
was like on his way out. So yeah, Billy Smith. So he actually taught me his parts, so I could take over his position, so he could quit. And then once I was fully in the band, we started playing some gigs. I think we played the Boathouse. I think that's what
the
it was called.
clubhouse. It was the clubhouse in Tom's River before it was the clubhouse in Tom's River.
I've played there
Oh,
before.
the original clubhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
The new venue is really cool.
yeah. And then from like there I started contributing ideas, and like I had sooner or later, and then like we just kind of started collaborating more.
Yeah.
Sooner or later slaps, by the
Thanks,
way.
dude.
That was like I tied that up with In Fear and Loathing. I was like,
Nice.
these are both so so they're sick.
Yeah.
Sierra, I don't know
And,
where to go after that. It's a very long history.
Okay, I'll jump back in. So, so it pretty much continued, like, you know, like I had Joe, but like we still needed a full lineup. The because everyone that like was in the band when Joe was in the band, like just joined, quit.
They were a
So
bunch of shit
You're like,
talkers,
okay, back
and
to-
two-faced liars, not good people. Not all of them, not all of
Whoa.
them, but just
not Joe
One of
Capasso.
Man, that's a stressful situation.
Oh yeah, it was mad weird, and it was like the kind of environment I did not want to foster or continue. So, so we were back to square one. It was just the 2 of us. So we eventually found Santino. It was again just like posting to Facebook, putting up flyers, handing out CDs, hoping anyone would just see our shit and like see us begging on the internet for friends essentially. So Santino was the next person we acquired. And oh
a
god.
surf taco date.
Yeah, the surf taco day. Sorry, like I just think back and it's so funny how like it just felt like online dating, just like finding new members. It's so awkward. And he found us in a Facebook group because I had only been posting in Facebook groups begging for like 3 years, but he finally managed to see the one post, and he reached out and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like I'd love to like join or like come jam something." So Joe and I were like, let's meet this guy first and just see if we click, because like we had just gone through so much with like having jerks in our band, so we were like, let's test the waters. So then we invited him to serve taco, and we just like just hung out, and we both came to the conclusion like, no, yeah, this is a good dude.
Well,
like this is a like definitive nice guy.
I had some trepidation at first because he only uses Boss pedals, and I was like, I don't know about this guy.
Something shady about a dude who uses only Boss pedals.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I personally like I feel the same way. Like I'm not hot on Boss pedals, but Santino can fucking play
He
guitar.
shreds.
And then you don't even think about the fact that he's using Boss pedals like 99% of the time. So it doesn't even matter. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, so then we got
rips.
Santino, and he comes more from like a punk / metal background. I don't know if you guys know who the band like Float Face Down is, but he was in like a deathcore band like forever ago. And then and it mostly has a punk, like his background, his favorite band is Blink-182. So, but it still worked because we're a guitar heavy band. We're shreddy. So he fit in perfectly. Then we had to find a bassist. We did find a drummer. But for the sake of saving time, I won't go into his backstory because like, we got him, we had him for a year, it didn't work out. So Jamie, I put up a Craigslist ad.
You found your bassist on Craigslist.
We found our bassist on Craigslist.
That's incredible.
This was how desperate I was to find people because it was so hard. It was, when you don't really know anybody anymore. So I was just posting like musician wanted ads anywhere I could find. Reddit, Facebook, fucking Craigslist. So that's where we found Jamie. And he drove all the way down from Scotch Plains to Tom's River to try out. And he was great.
He learned more than we asked him
he
to.
was exactly like.
What do you mean by that?
We told him to only learn like a song or two, and he showed up knowing like the whole Open Letters demo. Like he knew everything. So
what a champ.
Exactly. So yeah, he's great. And then like, what I admire about Jamie is like he was in the thick of like music school when he came to try out and then eventually join us, and like had been in school for like the better part of our band's last 5 years. So he was like balancing classes with work and then like driving an hour and 10 down to Tom's River to practice for like over like 2 years.
That's commitment.
Yeah, for sure. So then we got Jamie. So that was like the lineup for like a year. We parted ways with our drummer, and then we had to start over. So that brings us to like 2016,
late 16,
like late 2016.
Early 17.
So at this point, we had played a few shows. We put out Years in Waiting. Like people knew who we were. So the thought of like having to find another drummer was like scary because like drummers are so scarce because they're already in like 5 bands and they can't make room for one more. And there's only like 10 drummers in New Jersey. So
yeah, they're very few and far between.
I feel like the drummers never want to play drums either.
Yeah.
Is that like a common thing?
You think they just kind of know how to, but they never want to?
Yeah, like they want to play guitar, they want to like sing or play bass.
Dude, I love playing drums. If I could play drums in a band, I would.
Yeah, shit. If my parents
Joe,
would
so would
have
I.
heard you.
kit,
You can. I believe.
Yes.
you can do it.
Joe, I saw you play drums for like a minute, and I was already impressed. I'd hire you as a drummer for my
Aw,
band.
thanks, dude. We should
Aw.
jam.
You're hired.
Let's all
He's a
jam.
multi-instrumentalist, talented guy. But yeah, Ryan was the last member we acquired, and it was the one person we got from like it was one of us knew, like the one person.
So
and the cool thing about Ryan is that like when we picked him up, he had not been playing drums for like 2 years.
He was out of practice.
yeah.
Out of practice, and like he tried out and it was fine. Like
Oh, yeah. Can I
and
explain
it
for a
like
sec?
he showed up prepared and Yes, I was gonna defer to you for Ryan's backstory.
Yeah, sorry for cutting you off. No, I actually used to play.
No, you're good.
I used to play in a band called For Our Lifetime with Ryan, and I actually played bass in that band way back. That was like 2014. So like, I was actually still in For Our Lifetime when I joined with Sales Ahead, and then when I quit that band to join this band, I eventually took Ryan over too, because me and him stayed friends after I quit that band, and then eventually. We were hanging out one day, and he was like, man, I have a feeling one day I'm gonna be your drummer. And like a couple months later, he tried out. He actually helped me write In Fear and Loathing. Like we were jamming in this old barn that our old band used to practice in. And so we were jamming one day, and he kind of helped me write. Oh wait, no, I'm actually remembering that incorrectly. He helped me write Sharpshooter, and that was like one of the songs that I kind of brought to with Sales Ahead when I joined. But so Ryan joined in early 2017. I think we played our first show with him as a sort of trial, and then we had Santino had a birthday party, and we all met up. And at that birthday party, we were like, we all conspired beforehand, and we were like, let's ask Ryan to join the band, and then he did.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I had a quick question about Ryan, because I listened to your guys' discography from beginning to current, and then watched the Fear and Loathing music video last, and I saw the drum kit that was set up for the music video,
Oh boy.
and I thought to myself, no fucking way does this dude play a drum kit this small.
I know. Where we set up to film was an abandoned airfield, and Chris wasn't confident that we wouldn't get busted. So he was like, "I'm sorry, guys, but like, just like, can you bring like the most minimal,
Is minimal amount of gear.
exactly."
But please confirm to me he has like a 16-piece drum kit or something.
No.
Because there's this stuff I heard him play is
No,
gnarly.
he has a 4-piece.
I wouldn't say 6.
Really?
Yeah. For the music video, he only
It's
had
a
that
four?
time.
incredible.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cause
Oh god.
gotcha.
Most prog rock drummers have like a ridiculous kit. I've seen.
No, he's no Neil
That's
Peart.
impressive. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, guys, I'm so
Neil
sorry.
Peart?
I'm noticing a ton of lag on my end, so I'm sorry if I'm like talking over you.
No,
you're all good, man.
You're good.
I actually didn't even really notice. So, as like I mentioned before, about how you guys all seemed experienced before starting with Sales Ahead, and as you clarified in your history, what other solo history have you guys had with music before starting this band?
So I'll go.
Joe, you want to go first, or yeah?
Let me think. So yeah, I was in a couple bands in high school. They were kind of all shit. Metalcore. Like, basically, I started listening to A Day to Remember in high school, and I was like, I'm gonna copy this band word for word. And that was my band in high school. Was just like ADTR copy band. I don't know if you want me to go like way earlier than that, but that was pretty much high school. And then
Yeah, like, when did you start playing?
oh yeah, started playing in 2006. Got a guitar for Christmas. Started learning some AC/DC and like Black Sabbath and like early like dad rock bands, and then eventually, I think through playing Guitar Hero, I think it was Guitar Hero 2 or 3, I discovered Rush, and Rush went on to become my favorite band and like a huge influence of mine. So around that time I started learning all these Rush tunes and getting into like early 70s prog rock bands, which kind of laid the foundation to kind of eventually get into like post-hardcore, because a lot of these like newer post-hardcore bands like to brand themselves as like progressive post-hardcore, which of course is always subjective. Genres are meaningless, but yeah. So went through high school, was in a metalcore band. I wasn't really feeling it. So when I graduated, that kind of disbanded. And then after high school, around 2014, I joined that band that I mentioned earlier, For a Lifetime, which was the most cheesy pop punk I've ever heard.
Pretty cool name.
Wow.
Oh, thanks. Well, that was
Right.
like a band long before I joined, that I joined as a bassist and eventually became
Ah.
their guitarist. And then it was kind of my fault that the whole band kind of disintegrated. Maybe not exactly my fault, but so I don't like pop punk. There's a couple bands that I fuck with, but I
Those are fighting words.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Around that time,
Okay.
I was really pining for a band that I could write my preferred style of music for, and I was really wanting to, write, mathy. I don't even know what I was looking for, but like kind of like mathy post-hardcore type stuff, and uh, I started writing my own demos and solo stuff around that time, and then eventually when I joined with Sales Ahead, two of those songs that I had kind of brought, Sooner or Later and Sharpshooter, went on to become with Sales Ahead tunes.
That's awesome, man. How Sierra, how did you start singing, or how did you get into music, and what solo career did you have before the origin stories of with Sales Ahead?
So, I have been singing, like everyone always says, like I've been singing ever since I was a baby, but like I started singing when I was like 7. I like at the same time like both loved like singing and drawing. Like I thought like my dream job at the time was to be like an animator in at like for like Disney before they fully switched over to CGI. Womp. I wanted to be a singer too. Like I grew up like with pop. Like that's just what it is. Like it is what it is. Like I loved pop artists. I loved like boy bands and girl bands and like pop stars, and like eventually like I found like Michelle Branch, like Vanessa Carlton. That's the people who made me like pick up a guitar, pick up piano. So for years I was just like going to lessons. I was just like jamming Avril Lavigne alone in my room. I eventually went to performing arts high school. I don't know if you guys know it, but the Ocean County like Performing Arts Academy.
Yeah, I do know
that.
that. I
have
actually
friends over there.
did.
Yes,
I
went
worked with that
there.
school pretty frequently, actually.
Ah.
Oh no way!
Yeah, my old job, they used to come perform at my old job like 3 times a year or something.
Oh my
like
god! Wait, where did you work?
I used to work at the Strand Theater in Lakewood.
No way! Oh my god, all my favorite memories are at the Strand. Oh my
Yo.
god. Yeah, all of our vocal showcases were there. I did like crew for some musicals because I wasn't good enough to be in them. Like all that shit. Yeah, so then I went to PAA, and I just wanted to sing. That's been my driving force my entire life. I just want to sing. And like I got in and I was like, oh, I forgot I'm not into musicals, so there's that. And so like, but it was still like a really good experience for me because one, I didn't have to deal with like typical high school with like bullies, but like we had like no guys. It was pretty much like an all girls school. Two, we sang every week, and that's something I went on to take for granted, and I curse it every day. It really gave me a good foundation for like understanding like how to take criticism, how to take care of your voice, like the understanding that like the voice is like a muscle, all that shit. So it was a great experience, but like I very quickly realized like I'm not fit for like the musical theater world, but I still want to do music. So I realized like, all right, well, I can just try the solo thing. So I started playing locally as just an acoustic artist when I was a junior, and I would play like local cafes. It was rough. I still remember because it's so much more rough to play solo acoustic because it's just you. If you
Right.
fuck up, there was no one else there to mask your mistake. It's just you. So I had plenty of gigs like that, but I had gigs that were good too, and I wasn't even, at my best back then. So I had a lot of years of just like figuring out like, like how to book shows by myself and like playing out and networking. So I graduated high school. I went to college. I went to OCC. And at this point, I like was getting into like heavier music. In high school I jammed a lot of pop punk, and then I moved on from that. And I was listening to Circus Survive. Then I met this kid Josh at OCC, and like he introduced me to A Day to Remember. And for like the first 2 years of college, I was heavily listening to A Day to Remember, Homesick.
ADTR brings people
Oh, I
together.
didn't know that
It's
about
crazy
you.
how they really are the gateway band. Did I not tell you that?
No.
Yeah. Whatever the album is with the thorns and it's purple and blue, that one.
Yeah,
Homesick.
been there,
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah, Homesick. So yeah. And then there were local bands at the time that really were really popular that made me want to go to shows like An Open-Ended Sky, Failure and Vanity. I began to like have an appreciation for heavier music, and I was just like, what if? So like me and this kid Josh started a band named Avery, and he knew a bunch of people, so he pretty much just filled in the blanks with the lineup. We were essentially metalcore, but like with just singing, which was super confusing for a lot of people. But we didn't last too long. We just played a few shows, and then I started dating the bassist, and then things got weird. One of the guitarists left, and then like the band pretty much like kind of fell apart over time. So at this point, like it's like 2012. Like we tried to like save the band by getting 2 new people, but we just did not jive as friends at all. So it fell apart, and it was really disheartening because one of the guys that we had joined like said that like he didn't think it was gonna work out because I just wasn't good enough as a singer. So, which was kind of, here's what I'm gonna say. It was really mean because he thought we did like a Jimmy Eat World cover for whatever fucking reason,
That's sick.
and like he thought he could sing it better than me. So he takes the mic and he starts to sing it, and he's like, sing it like this, and we all just kind of look at him. So yeah, so we were just like, nah. So like it fell apart because like me and the bassist, like we didn't agree with everybody else, and the drummer was kind of just the impartial, like I just want everyone to be friends. Like, so that fell apart, and then I went back to playing solo acoustic for a while, but it didn't work out. I didn't feel the same hope for it, or like the same, like, I don't know what the word is. Like I just didn't feel as excited about it as I was when I was like 16 and just starting out. So it was really disheartening, and that's when I like gave up music for a couple years. But then that's when I found like Lower Definition, and I was like, nah, I'm giving this one more go. And I wanted to just like see, all right, like I just wanted to see how I could like infiltrate like heavier music and like bring my own like my own experience to it, and just like fuck around in that space. So that was when I was like, all right, I'm getting back in there. And then cut to now.
I think that's so cool and kind of perfectly inspirational for what our podcast is about, because we want to bring the indie local music scene together, make it more closer, and your band was like formed through it, and like through the relationships you made in that scene, whether it be making friends with Joe or just like putting posts on Craigslist and Facebook and stuff, and just having these talented people come together and make a dope ass band. It's just pretty awesome that people can do that.
100%. Yeah, you really realize how small the network is in New Jersey when you start playing shows, and then suddenly you know everyone. Like, it's crazy. And it's cross genre too. Like, we're friends with people from all over, like in indie, in punk, in metal. Like, it does not matter, because it feels like there's so many bands in general in the state. Like, everyone plays music, but like, as far as the people who are like in the community, like, once you're in it, like, you know everyone, and that's your backbone. Like, it's the best.
Yeah. At the
Jersey's the
same
place to be.
time, I feel like I'm always discovering stuff though.
Oh, for
Dude,
sure.
I mean, I also haven't been in it like anywhere close to as long as you guys have. So I'm
yeah,
sure
all
I'll
it
hit a
takes
wall
is just like
eventually, but-
time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, just meeting people.
Well, yeah,
Like-
Jack. Like, we were talking the other day at work, and we were I think something about like a member of a band was with another band with someone you knew, and I knew that person. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it, but basically, it like
I
Was
was
it
following.
it goes out in a web, and everyone's connected via this web, and it's always mutuals, like friend of a friend, and I know this person, you know them, and that's how we always connect with other people, and it's a really great community,
Yeah.
and I love everyone in the music scene.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
It's rough out here
It
in the
is
indie
rough
scene
out
right
here.
now with nothing
Yeah.
going on. It's funny because Walton, for example, I didn't realize it until like last week, but I played my old band played a show with him a year before I met him at Guitar Center. I
No
just didn't know it.
way.
Yeah, and then Brandon too is the fill-in drummer for a band that I've known for, well, not I know them personally, but the guitar tech for them for years. It's just like Jersey's community of musicians is very tight knit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Instead of editing it out, can we just put
so-
bleeps every time we
oh,
say?
yeah.
We just bleep it out.
That's what I do. I have a sound bite of Eric going, and I just use that. It's so funny.
Every now and again, I'll use the bass zone as a good loophole.
Yeah, like but is it a loophole?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Because we all work there and they know that.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
the
but
audience,
you're not saying it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. If the
that's
audience
true.
figures out what I'm saying through context, regardless of how easy it is, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I mean, I had a couple of smaller like wrap up questions, unless you
Yeah.
had any other main topics you wanted to talk about.
I might want to hit a couple things, but I'll see what you have to say first.
Oh no, you go ahead first.
Please, Joe. You first.
Fine. Thank you.
I just love hearing your voice.
Oh, thank you, man. Do you think in a way that you're kind of seeing the shape of the future indie scene coming to fruition in some way?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if I may chime in, it's gonna be the kids who will have the drive and the perseverance to continue playing, like, and inspiring themselves to pick up the guitar and just remember to practice every day, like, no matter what. Because that in and of itself is hard to come by. Even like Joe and I were just talking about it before, like, we started this episode. Like, I haven't picked up my guitar in like a long time. I'm singing all the time, but I haven't picked up my guitar in a minute. And the people who can stay diligent and practice a lot, like the kids who can motivate themselves, that's who's gonna make it. You know, when you have that kind of drive, for sure. But
Big
it's hard to say. It
truth.
is hard
Yeah.
to say now.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there might not be. Well, actually, I don't know. I was just about to say that it might not be a lot of motivation right now, but with a lot of people like locked in their house, you know, I feel like they're like, hey, I have all this free time. Maybe I should dedicate it to learning something new. I don't
For
know.
sure. I hope so. Yeah, all it is muscle memory. Every time someone comes to me, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I could sing, or like, oh, I wish I could play guitar. I'm like, y'all know it's just practice, right? Like, it doesn't happen overnight, but it's just practice. It's all you have to do.
Yeah. 15 minutes a day keeps the rust away.
Oh shit.
That's actually very
Never-
true. I should
That's
apply
a good
that.
one. Wow, I should
Me
just set
too.
aside 15 minutes a day.
I should just listen to my own advice. Nah.
I feel that, man.
That makes too
Same.
much sense.
How short your practices are? You only practice.
No, I mean, like, I try to practice more than that.
like 15 minutes minimum.
I'm saying, like, yeah, if you're not going to do it at all and you do it for 15 minutes instead of just not doing it, then it's going to keep the rust off.
Oh, all right. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
You're not going to improve as much, but, you know.
Yeah, Joe, we're only gonna practice for 15 minutes from now on. Just
See
gonna
what
show
happens.
up.
That's
Your
what
band
practice
practice is
is.
5 minutes long.
Yeah, because we talk so much. Because like I said, we get together once a week, and we're so excited to see each other. We just like spend a lot of time catching up, and then we're like, oh yeah, we have to play through the new stuff. True.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to bring up. You guys seem like you're very
You good?
you guys seem like you're very close. Like you're also like very similar as people, kind of. I can't speak for the other two members of the band, but I mean
The other three.
you and Joe, or you and Sierra, whoever I'm referring to right now, seem very similar, kind of. Do you feel that?
No, totally. I'll go first. I feel like we've been through so much as a band that this experience playing music with them has brought me closer to these guys than I feel as close to some of my friends I've known my entire life. Like we've truly done a lot. Like I've essentially lived with these people on the road for like a week and a half at a time, and like we see each other constantly. We talk every day. Like we're very close, and we've even like, you know, adopted each other's like little like habits and like, you know, jokes, and you know, we have a lot of inside jokes. You know, we enjoy a lot of the same things like video games and anime. So yeah, we, you know, and I feel like if it's not fun like that, why are you playing music together? Like that's how it should be. That's how I always wanted it to be. In my last band, it was not nearly like that. We all hated each other. Like, you know, so you know, that's something that's important to me. Like we have a very, you know, like Joe and I, like since we like work a lot like on the songwriting together, like we've worked really hard on having like better communication, clearer communication, and making sure like we respect each other's ideas, because like that's another thing. Like, you know, you are not going to put out your best stuff if like you hate everything. Like I don't know how to make sense of what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
Mutual
yeah,
respect.
you just like communication is important. Exactly, mutual respect.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, it's important to me that like we're all close as friends, and that like we like each other as people and we hang out, because then like what are you doing? Then like you're in a
Why?
band, like you're gonna be with each other all the time. Like you better like each other. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Spend
we
a
very
lot
do.
of time with each other.
Yeah.
And I think
So-
like
Yeah.
So yeah.
the longevity is, well, I don't know, not the key to longevity, but like the reason why we've been like able to not end up hating each other's guts. Like every time we've come home from tour, we've always come home much closer than we were before, and it's just like being through that experience together really bonds you, and you know, knowing that these people have been in the same situation as you, and like, oh, we played in the frat house with pubes in the sink, and we can all remember that together, and you know, relate and know that we've been through.
Fond memories, man.
So like we've been through it, and that's what brings
Exactly.
us closer.
Yeah, you guys have grown together a lot. That's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Thanks.
You know, you guys are very lucky to have that.
For sure.
And almost not all thanks to, but a huge thanks to just the community for making that happen. The indie music
Oh, yeah.
community, everybody. Don't
Yeah,
underestimate its
100%.
power. and
Nah,
its
it's
Or
influence.
totally-
Craigslist. Big,
Like the
shout outs to
circumstances
Craigslist.
under which we came together should not have fostered such like
Shout out to Chris.
a close friendship. Like we
Yeah.
all came from different corners of the internet. We didn't know each other before this band, and now we are like closer to each other than we are with like people we've known forever. Like it's crazy.
That's magical.
It
Love
is.
that.
I think that's might be a good note to wrap it up on a little bit. Or did you have anything else?
That's a great note to wrap it up on. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was just it was just more like a cherry on top curiosity topic. It was why majority of prog rock bands have a similar art style for all their album covers. It's just
Oh
like
yeah,
very,
like the drawn, like the
yeah,
the
like this
illustrated.
very vibrant, like color
We like
saturated,
anime.
beautiful artwork, but like you see it in prog rock bands all the time.
Yeah, I just like I want like like the album art like always like it has to be interesting. It has to really like match the music you're going for. Like I feel like our music is like you said like vibrant. I think it's, you know, I don't know, like I just like I think like our music is interesting. So and our music tells like a story lyrically. It like, you know, you want to see yourself like when you're reading the lyrics, like you want to like see yourself in my shoes and like and be able to relate. So, you know, the album art we try to do the same thing. And try to just like paint a picture, tell a story. And yeah, like what Joe said. Unfortunately, the better part of my upbringing, like my entire life is just like centered around anime. So, an animation period. So, yeah, that's a big, you know, that's always been big in my life. So that's definitely influenced our choice in artwork.
That's sick. Who did the artwork for the Fear and Loathing single?
Oh, so in Fear and Loathing, was an artist whose name is Stephanie Ryan. A lot of these people I browse hashtags on Instagram for hours. To find the artist for Morning Sun, I had to go through a lot of shit on DeviantArt, and DeviantArt is known for being like home
Iffy.
to, yeah, like a home to like art for like furries and hentai. So rip. I'm just like scrolling through it. I'm like, please come on, just somebody background artist, please. So yeah. That's how I found Stephanie. I was on Instagram and just like scrolling stuff, and I found her, and she's incredible, and she killed it on the concept. Like she got exactly what I was going for, and the color palettes are just like perfect. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I find artists, just social media.
Shout out to Stephanie Ryan.
Yeah.
Chat. I'll throw that in the description.
Yeah.
So real quick, do you guys want to just plug your socials, streaming platforms, everything?
Yeah, sure. So we are With Sales Ahead on Spotify, at With Sales Ahead on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook too, you can just type in With Sales Ahead, you'll find us. Yeah, please follow us on Spotify. We're gonna try to put out be more prolific about putting out music. You know, we do have another single on the way, but we're also trying to do other stuff like reimagined versions of songs, acoustic, stripped down stuff. We're working on it. You know, we're a bunch of depressed people, so we're pushing through as best as we can.
Just gotta
Right
stay
on.
busy. That's
Yeah.
what we do here.
Exactly. So yeah, please, Spotify is huge for us. Please follow us if you can. We're on YouTube too. You can find like a boatload of like our favorite
Oh,
memories
wow.
and tour videos there.
Yeah, I watched a whole
Ton
whole
of those,
slew.
man.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Wow.
I enjoyed. thoroughly.
And then what else? Is there anything else to plug,
Well,
Joe? We will
personal-
have new music as soon as possible.
Personal
Oh,
socials?
personal stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe and I stream on Twitch. I'm Sierra
Ooh.
plus Ultra.
Oh,
Joe is
yeah.
Joe_NPC. Shows aren't coming back for a minute. We got to make that money somehow, baby.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Mhm.
Twitch Prime.
Yeah. So we
It's another
stream.
thing I really thought was cool about you guys. It was a very intimate way to connect with your fans. You guys
Yeah.
streamed you guys played Smash Ultimate with your fans on the release day of Fear and Loathing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Uh,
It was really fun, and we're gonna probably do it again because it was really cool, and we can hopefully get more people to come out if we promote it a
I
little
was
longer. We gave it
pissed
like a
that
week.
I missed that.
All good. We're gonna do it
Missed out
again.
that one. Yeah. Awesome.
I'll be there for that. What was your Twitch handle, Sierra, again?
It's Sierra plus Ultra.
Cool. That was just for me to write down for my own
Sick.
notes.
Okay. Thank you. But yeah.
So if you guys don't have anything else, I'd just like to say real quickly that you guys are genuine. Like, I fucking love your band. Like, you guys,
Yeah.
there's so much like growth from the beginning to where it is now, and you guys are individually as artists so talented, and I really hope that people keep checking you guys out. Like, if you're listening right now, you should really go and listen to this music. It's genuinely incredible.
If you're
Um,
listening
Yeah.
right now, I've added multiple with sales ahead songs to the local acts
Yeah.
only Spotify
yes,
playlist.
thank
Their
you.
whole
Thank you,
catalog
Joe.
is on the Apple Music one as well.
And if you're
Sweet.
listening right now, you
So-
probably know this already, but listen to Local Acts Only podcast. And
Hell
Local
yeah.
Acts Only
You should do
I'll do that.
at Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
Hell yeah. It's all, well, the Twitter is Axe Local, but everything
Okay.
else is Local Axe only.
I'm figuring
no
out the
problem
Twitter
getting that.
situation right now.
Oh, yeah?
I'm trying.
I kind of like it though because it's almost funny.
Twitter's a
like,
wasteland.
like Axe Local, you know?
Yeah.
Like he acts local. Like, I don't know. Like he's like trying to act local.
Nah, it acts like a local.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's cool
thought
though.
it was-
I like it.
yeah. I don't know. But so it works. I mean, if you can change it though, that'd be cool. But I do like it the way it is. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm so excited to like see where you guys end up with
Thank you,
everything.
Jack.
Because
Yes, and-
it's just awesome. And I really hope to have you guys on again. Hopefully we could
Mhm.
do something in person
Yes, we will.
when COVID is no longer a thing.
Oh yeah, instantly. The second it's up, the second the
sure,
vaccine
yeah.
is injected in our veins. Let's go.
Yeah, and thank you very much for being on.
Yeah,
for
thank you
this.
so
Thanks
much.
for having
Guys,
us.
go watch the In Fear and Loathing
Yeah, thanks for
music
having
video.
us.
Absolutely. I just know that like this is gonna give me even more of a greater appreciation for your guys' music too.
Oh,
I'm very excited. Very excited for the future.
thank you. I'm stoked to
guys
see
are
where you guys go
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
It's only
for
the
sure.
beginning.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's not sit here congratulating each other on how awesome we all are for another 5 minutes. So I'm gonna cut it.
All right. Peace, everyone.
All right, great conversation, guys. That was really cool.